Hello again, my friends. I'm smiling because I say my friends, and some people say, don't say my friends. But it's just in my nature to say that. And you probably know me by now. So, anyway, welcome back, my friends. And I'm also supposed to invite you to Patreon. I hope you can join me there. I've used those words before. I guess I can't escape the realities of filming and commerce and time and all that other stuff, and you'll understand what I mean. And I'm trying to do my best with all of this, and maybe I am. Anyway, whatever that means to you, please join me on Patreon. So, a lot of people wrote me messages about side-by-side shotguns, especially from the United Kingdom, and I have a soft spot for the UK and UK guns. Like I told you before on another video, I had fantastic times in London and with London gunmakers and doing some shooting there. Anyway, the specific video today was supposed to be about the BSS, which is made by Morocco in Japan, a Browning side-by-side. Side-by-side shotguns are not necessarily the most popular firearms these days. We have to make it through this black rifle and black shotgun phase, and maybe it's not a phase, and if that's what it's supposed to be, then that's what it's supposed to be. But I do have BSS, and I've owned a few. And then I was talking to people, and I realized I should probably cover another subject that other people were asking me about. So I'll just go right into it. This is the frame of a BSS Browning side-by-side shotgun. It has bushed firing pins. That means that you can spin out this frame around the firing pin. It gives you good access to the firing pin without going into the action itself. I just mentioned that because people ask me what does bushed firing pins mean. So you can see with a special tool you can turn this out and get at the firing pin. It's a good feature. It's a side-by-side shotgun made by Morocco, like I said. In terms of quality, I would give it 9 out of 10. The second shotgun we're going to be looking at is a Baikal, B-A-I-K-A-L, named after Lake Baikal, one of the oldest lakes on Earth. I think it's the deepest and holds more fresh water than any other lake on Earth. It's in Siberia. And the Baikal also has bushed firing pins. They're slightly different from the Browning, but that's natural. This is a remarkable shotgun, and I'll just talk about this Baikal for a moment. These Baikals, generally speaking, were quite inexpensive. So in my youth, I bought a side-by-side made in Brazil by Rossi, and my brother bought a Baikal. Actually, it was probably the same model, and I vividly remember going into a marsh when the marsh froze up and there was ice on the surface of the mud, and we were walking in thigh-deep mud, and my brother's waders came off, like there's sort of a suction effect with with mud. Anyway, his waders came off, and so he had a choice: either discontinue hunting or continue hunting more or less barefoot. So he's a great big tall guy, and like I said, I was just a kid. Anyway, I still remember he had this shotgun, the Baikal side-by-side, which at the time was like $150 or something. I don't know. I don't even remember where you would buy them, but somehow we got a hold of one. And he was walking more or less barefoot. And anyway, this duck comes from left to right from my point of view, And he swings with this duck on one leg with the other leg stuck in the mud, and he's barefoot. And somehow he still made that crossing shot, and it was like a crossing rising shot for you waterfowl hunters. And this is not a Benelli Black Eagle. We're not going to be reloading anytime soon. So he had that one shot, and because he had fired the other barrel at a bunch of like mud hens or coots or whatever, and he made that shot, and the duck came down. It was a great big mallard drake or whatever. But that's how I remember this Baikal, and probably that's why I still own one. Excellent shotgun, indestructible. I didn't show you, and you probably can't see this, but I'll try to explain what happened. This stock split right through here, and whoever fixed it put a panel of walnut in here. I don't know if you can make this out. They recheckered this. There's the break right there. The break continues through here, and then the break continues through this side. They recheckered with another panel. The panel is here. This is going to be hard to detect. You may not see it, but it's here. And then the break continues right through to here. And they told me this was so. I mean, I could see it anyway. And, you know, I paid nothing for this shotgun, which I felt badly about because people freak out about these brakes and stuff. But when you're in guns, you know that the brakes don't really amount to much functionally. So I paid like nothing for the shotgun, and it's perfectly functional. Anyway, the Baikal is a monoblock design, and this is where you can get out your notepads. See this line? This line means, you can see it, goes all the way around. Some of you know this, some of you don't. This piece is separate from the barrels. The manufacturer makes the monobloc, which has to fit to the action. This is not necessarily tricky, but you have to know what you're doing to get this to fit to this. Then these barrels are tubes, and they are pushed in or brazed into the monobloc. That's a monobloc design. It's completely functional. I've never seen these tubes come out, and you can see they try to disguise the line, camouflage the line with these little engravings. And sometimes manufacturers buff and polish. They go to extra lengths to try to disguise the monobloc so that the tubes appear to be one piece from here to here. In this case, they are not one piece. Now I'll just move these aside. That's the Baikal from Russia. And here is the Wesley Richards. That's the action. All this clunking doesn't matter. And here is the chopper lump barrel. You can see there is no line here. There's nothing to camouflage or hide. Maybe here you can see it exactly. Here's the line. This is a 20 gauge. There's no line. So why is there no line? Because this is a forging all the way to the muzzle, and this is a forging all the way to the muzzle. And these two pieces are combined. This is split. The reason they call it a chopper lump is that when this is forged and this piece is unmachined, it looks a bit like an axe, something that you would chop with. So they call it a chopper lump barrel. They take each half of these barrels, and now I'm asking you to consider how many hours this would take. They fit them, they machine them, they create the bites. The places where a shotgun locks are called bites. And it's the bites here, here, sometimes there's a third or a fourth or a green or crossbolt that determine the longevity of the action. Anyway, this is a chopper lump barrel and of extraordinary strength and quality. And this one, if I said Wesley Richards, when you're doing filming, maybe you get mixed up. It's a Webley Scott. And here's the Browning BSS, and this one maybe you can help me with. So if you look here on the BSS, I don't see a line. So then I went and spoke to my collector buddies, and half of them said it is a chopper lump. Half of them said it's not a chopper lump. But one of the features of chopper lump is you move the extractor out and you look for a line here joining the two halves of the lumps, which are these pieces. And I see a line here. So to me, the BSS is a chopper lump. And if it is a chopper lump, then the BSS, even at current prices, is a steal. Because I was going to say at the beginning of this video that the BSS, or the beginning of the planning of this video, is an exceptional side-by-side shotgun, even if it was a monoblock. So monoblock is this system here, where this piece is separate and you push the tubes in, and you kind of make it look like a double gun, but then you have to regulate the tubes so that they converge. It's because when these tubes are pushed in, when you push this and this in to here, whether you use just pressure or brazing or by whatever system, how do you know where they converge? So you have to measure for that, and you have to design your rib and solder it in place to accomplish that convergence. Anyway, the chopper lump is a better system, a more difficult system. There's another one called demibloc that involves dovetails, but I don't want to confuse everybody out there because it's pointless. But if you can buy a chopper lump shotgun, buy it. That doesn't mean don't buy the Baikal. It's fantastic and it's made well and it works. And here's another thing I wanted to show you. This is the fore end for the Wesley Richards. See these two pieces? That's a hammer and that's a hammer. Quite a few people wrote me and they were asking me, what are these things? This hammer and this hammer are cocked when you open the action. And when you fire, these actually hit the ejectors, which are here. And you can put it all together if you take the gun apart. Something has to command this gun to eject the empties. And it's those hammers that hit right here that cause the ejectors to work. I won't bother you with all the details of how it accomplishes that. But if you can buy an English shotgun with ejectors that's chopper lump, you'll have something of lasting value. And this amazing Webley Scott in 20 gauge is one of those shotguns. And everything about it, it's machined perfectly, it's fitted by hand, so you have a complete shotgun in seconds. And I'll describe to you later on the process of sooting, which is how this is assembled, that justifies the prices they're asking. And I mean, you've seen me handle a lot of firearms, but I can't tell you the difference between a properly fitted English shotgun and all these other machine-made guns. It's different worlds of quality. And that doesn't mean the BSS is a bad gun, and neither is the Baikal. They're just in a different realm. So I hope you can make sense of that. If I miss something or if something needs further explanation, please message me. This is something that's fascinating to me and maybe dear to my heart because I've studied it so long. And definitely the UK shotguns. Oh, I have to say Merkel is also chopper lump barrels, and I mean the Germans know how to build guns, but what a lot of talking. So thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.